Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the moves for those who.
What we do here is go back.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, Mecha Army? Yeah! Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha, and man, looks good on you, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So, Mecha Army, represent. Yes! Oh, it's good, right? And then there's always this. How about that? How about that? Yeah. Oh, man. So, prototypes are here. I think we're good to go. Everybody's excited about them. So these will be up probably tomorrow. They're not up today. I didn't have time to put them up today. So this will be up tomorrow. This will be up tomorrow. So keep an eye out, because I'll make a social media post on it and just let everybody know that they're up. So cheers. Yeah. So hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a fairly productive weekend. We'll show you that here in just a minute. Jeez, now I got a hat here. Look at this. Whee! This deal right here. What's up with that? I don't know. Anyway, so hey, man, did you guys see the video on Tested today? Adam Savage's, YouTube channel. Man. So they had, if you guys missed it, they had, I believe his name is John from New Type HQ. So, and he was on there showing, his models and stuff, which was pretty damn cool, right? So congratulations to New Type, man. That was kind of a really cool thing, right? Yeah, text says, caught all the sweet gunplay action, right? Yeah, that was a little cringy, right? So, Norman Chan, the guy that hosts most of the, shows that Adam Savage isn't on the channel, he called it gunplay, right? Gunplay. Like, pew pew, right? Like, gunplay. Yeah, it was a little cringy, but he's not into it like we are, so it is what it is, right? I'm not gonna fault the guy. But the cool thing is that they were showing off, Gundam models, right? Which was really cool, getting them out to more of the masses, because there are like 4.5 million subscribers to that channel, so that's a good thing, right? You get more people involved, you get more people interested in the hobby, more people come in, just bigger it gets. So I think that's a good thing. Now, Tested, if you're watching, have some more people on. Have some really talented people on there. I'm not just saying that John from New Type wasn't talented. Very talented fella. I think that Tristan looked amazing, and the Doraemon with the inside mechanics and everything looked really quite good too. So but man, just keep it going. Have some more modelers on, because we are the future, right? Come on. I commented on the video. I said, hey, you know what? You should have that the GBWC 2016 North American champion on. I heard he was pretty good, right? So never get answered, because I'm on the East Coast, they're on the West Coast, they're in San Francisco. And mind you, there are some really great San Francisco builders out there. You got my good boy Tom Merritt, 8-Bit Tom, over there on Instagram, and very, very talented gentleman. So, I think, hey, those Gundam guys are out there. Tex is out there. A bunch of people are out there. Tested. Hook up with some of these people. Yeah. Hook up with some of these people. That's what I say. Or fly me out there. I'd love to be on the show. I'd love to meet Adam. I think it would be fun. What do you guys think? Would you like to see me on Tested with Adam? I think it would be an amazing kind of duo. I think it would be awesome. That's just my opinion. But hey, who am I, right? I'm just some idiot. I'm just some schmuck on a live stream, right? What are you gonna do? Anyway, so what the hell's going on over here? Anyway, magnets. Yeah, fun with magnets over here. You don't wanna do nothing with that, yeah. Nice. Oh, hey, Manny made it home, you guys. Had a people. So, all right. So let me rewind this just for a second for you guys that are kind of in the dark about this. So Manny, Mr. McDio, on the chat over there on YouTube. He was celebrating his birthday on Friday, watching the stream at a bar, drinking for free, drinking top shelf whiskey, mind you, Johnny Walker Blue, and dude was like 30 double shots deep by the time we finished up. And man, true warrior right there, man. But a few people actually messaged me over the weekend to see, hey, did you hear if Manny got home all right? I'm like, I haven't. And then Manny messaged me. He's like, dude, I got home cool. I'm like, good. Holy shit. He ended on 45. 45 double shots, you guys. Yeah, I agree with Tex. I don't know how you're alive, dude. I mean, that's just holy hell. So for those of us that are mortals, that would be 90, a 9 and a 0, 90 normal shots. Now, mind you, Manny is a tall fella. I think he said he was like 6'1", something like that. You know, robust man. And holy shit, though, still, like, that's like, yeah. I mean, that's true warrior status right there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about y'all, but wow. Jesus. So, yeah. Yeah, hey, there's James, no Zaku boy. He says, I feel a challenge needed, right? Dude, James, I think you're up against the wall on this one, buddy. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, so Manny made it home. He's all good. He's in the chat. He's good. He's good. So yeah. So again, big shout out to Manny. Happy birthday, buddy. Let's see, what else? I can't think of anything else. So let's get to work, shall we? Oh! God. Duh. Yes. I forgot something. If you want to get some cool shirts like this, just head over to www.chadamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find shirts, hats, and bags, and all sorts of other cool stuff. This shirt and this amazing hat will be up there tomorrow. I'll let you know when. But go get you some. And if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are working with here tonight, hit the Amazon link just below here on YouTube and Twitch. That side if you're watching on Facebook. Get a little commission based off of the stuff that you buy, hence the new microphone. We're going to be getting Windows 10 hopefully installed on this thing soon. Right? And then, as always, if you need models or paints or decals, hit up our good folks right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the folks down there will definitely hook you up. Yes. So, hey, decals. Let's talk about decals just real quick. We submitted the 001R red, 001G gray. If you haven't caught on to the naming convention, it's 001W white. Hey, right? It's simple, but it works. So those are in. They've gotten back to us. We got a quote. Just gotta get them paid for, and then it's off to the races. So, like I said, hopefully in about a month, those two will be up as well. So same quality, the whole 9 yards, just in a different color, right? So for those of you needing red, for those of you needing a gray, we'll get you hooked up. Busy at work on the second decal sheet. So, yeah, those are coming along really well. I think it's a nice eclectic mix of different stuff. So, yeah, here we go. Anyway, now we're done. So let's get to work, shall we? Let's go camera 2 on this bad boy. Woo! Here we are. All right, so let's get zoomed in. Like I said, we had a pretty nice, productive weekend here in the studio. Let me show you kind of where we're at. So, here is the backpack, right? Now, if you remember from Friday, a lot of this material here and down here was not present, right? Was not present. So let's take this guy off of here. And so basically on Friday, all that was here was just this kind of square box right here around the plug, right? So everything else has been added to the backpack. Little crud there. Everything else has been added to the backpack since then, right? So this fits. Just watch this. Watch. Oh, so snug. Yeah? Look at that. It's just clean. It's just super clean. Now, still a lot of work to do on the backpack. Still some detailing, and stuff like that to do. Panel lines, notches, all sorts of things. This is not going to stay this plain here at all. This is going to get, some treatment. But this is just, man, it's like butter. And it's super solid right now, too, because it's nice and snug in here. So it's both lateral this way, there's no movement, lateral this way, no movement, right? So good thing is, so these strips right here that lock in to a little notch here in the chest armor, I made a locking mechanism here with just some styrene strip and everything, and that just pops right onto there, and it makes this thing solid, right? And yeah, I like it. So right along here, got some nice kind of boxy shapes on either side. You got a nice 2mm half round, and then you've got this kind of just cool looking little separator right there in the middle. And yeah, so it fits real nicely. And once this is primed up and everything, man, you won't even be able to tell the difference of what was original and what was added on, right? So that's the good thing about it. So yeah, so we're gonna be working on this tonight. Also added this little bit here in the middle, this little vent here along with this strip. Just something to kind of fill that weird void there. But there you can see the thruster bells. Those are looking really nice. We've got these little minus molds here. Those fit right into the pre-molded hole in this piece here. So pop these on, and yeah, see, everything just fits. Everything looks nice. It just fits. I like it when it fits. Everything fits together. And then, bam, just like that. It's like crazy. So, that's good stuff there. And once you pop the head on this thing, man, it's a solid unit here. So, there you go. And even as you hold this thing, I mean, you could just feel that this thing is just beefy. It's solid. It's not coming apart. Nothing's popping off on this thing, right? So that's kind of the end goal, yeah? So, but, yeah. She's looking good. She's looking good. I dig it. I dig it. Can you dig it? Warriors, come out and play. Now, seriously, if you guys are too young to understand that reference, go look up the Warriors movie, and I suggest that you watch it because it's very, very good. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily it's very, very good, but it is a classic. So there you go. It is a classic. All right. So with that being said, we're going to put that off to the side. Let's focus. Let's focus on this top part right here. Yeah. George says, Warriors, it's okay. Really? Come on, George. I thought you were old school Gunpla, man. Come on now. Warriors was a classic movie. Hell yeah. Bill Ruslam says the leather vests with no shirts, though. I mean, come on. And then you had the what is it? The clown. You had the clowns, and then you had the what were they? The mime baseball players and all sorts of weird gangs. Fun film, but limited. Yeah, I guess. It was definitely like a pre kind of hip hop movie, right? So I dig it. The baseball baddies, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. I mean, all just the eclectic groups in that were just, I mean, come on. It's just so campy and fun. Yeah. So Sean's over there on Facebook. He says, but wait, wasn't Can You Dig It from The Last Dragon? No. Can You Dig It was from Warriors. In that beginning scene where they've got, you know, the meeting of all of the gangs, all of the street gangs in New York City, in Central Park. And the one guy, I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, but he's like, can you dig it? Yeah, no, I wasn't from Last Dragon. Trust me. I know my 80s hip hop films. Trust me. Breakin' 2. Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. Come on. Y'all don't know about that. Turbo and Ozone. Come on. Come on. Crush Groove. Yeah, see? HR 148. Show enough. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't Can You Dig It? It was Show Enough. Yeah. See? Yeah. Yeah, who's the master? Yeah, that was Last Dragon. That was Last Dragon. Thank you, Manny. Oh, man. Flynnberger. Mr. Craig Flynn. What's going on, Craig? Craig had a tough time with his resin pour, you guys. Honestly, I don't think it. He says he had a tough time, but man, I don't think, Craig. I don't think it was that bad, dude. Now, mind you, I'm not there to see it in person, just from seeing it. Excuse me, in the pictures. It's not that bad, you know. It's not that bad, especially the bit around the shore. That looks. I mean, honestly, that kind of looked natural to me. But, hey, what do I know, right? I'm not sitting there. So, what are you going to do? Kai San-ing. Hello, Tim. Hello, Kai. What's going on? So Sean says, haha, oh man, you're taking it back. Dude, come on. Yeah, I mean, Wu-Tang is for the children, right? Wee. Ugh, good stuff. All right, so let's focus on this guy, right? What are we gonna do with this guy? So last night I ended up, the last thing I did was getting this this part installed here, these boxes, and getting them cleaned up on the side, because this is just stacked styrene strip, right? So it's nice and scraped up. It's smooth. Just it's good, right? Same thing with down here. This is all just stacked styrene and everything, filled in with super glue, because you know me, right? Yeah, so this thing is, everything that you see right now is pretty much finished and smooth and really, really nice looking. So I'm happy about the current position of this thing. But, like we said, it needs a bit of, it needs a little bit more detail, right? So, did some outline scribing around this box here, and then this kind of protrusion box here. These were already outline scribed there, so those are done and over with. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus here right now. Maybe do some scribing and stuff like that on the back here. Maybe add a little, some little plastic bits and stuff. Nothing crazy, just enough to give it some mechanical emphasis. I think that's a good word. Emphasis. That's what I'm going with. So let's go with that. Yeah. Craig said it cured a bit weird on the edges, but I've fixed it, hidden it. Yay. I mean, I thought it looked cool, especially around like the shore area. It almost looked like that weird like foam type of crap that's on the top of water and like streams and rivers and stuff like that. I thought it looked kind of cool, be honest with you, but again, I'm not there looking at it. So, but man, if you can get it looking better, Craig, get it looking better, refine it, yeah. He says, yeah, James, it shrunk a fair bit and lifted a bit. Ooh, did a second pour to fill the gaps, but still had a few bubbles. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Bailey, it's kind of like seafoam. Yeah. Kind of like that. But, yeah, one of those things. All right, so what I'm thinking at this point is to, since this is scribed all, up here, since this is scribed all the way around here, maybe bring down some scribe lines and stuff, maybe jutting them off to the sides and stuff, bring them down, around this might be an interesting look. I don't know. But we're going to play with it, and we're going to try to see what's what here, right? So, first things first, we need to find the Dymo tape. Right there. It's right in front of me. What are you going to do? Gary's over there on Twitch. He said, "Happy Monday, y'all," said no one ever. But Tim stream, woot, on break at work. What's going on, Gary? Good to see you, buddy. All right. So, first things first, we're going to square up this end because I know it is not, because last time I cut this with a pair of scissors, and obviously that's not square. So we've got a nice square end to work with. So what are we going to do first here? Let's do a bit of measuring, shall we? Let's see. We're looking at, we roll that up a bit, and we're looking at maybe 13-14 millimeter. So that'll be good. Links 53, Mr. Corey. What's going on, Corey? He says, do you have any resin casting tips for tiny, tiny casts, like smaller than your pinky nail? That's pretty small. It depends. It depends on the complexity, really. Because if it's complex, then obviously you're probably going to want to go with silicone rubber. But if it's not insanely complex, you can use the moldable plastic, the Onimaru, or however the hell you pronounce it. The kind that you put in the boiling water and it becomes malleable. And you can kind of make a mold out of that and use like an epoxy putty to kind of, as your casting material. Oyumaru? Oyumaru. I can never pronounce that correct. I give up. Moldable plastic. That's what we're going to say. Moldable plastic. But, yeah, Corey, that's probably what I would suggest, dude. If there's not a ton of detail, if you don't need a ton of detail. All right, let's see. We're going to go right at about 14. I think that'll be fine, yeah? lock that in. Let's get this zoomed out just a bit so you can kind of see what we're doing over here. Let's get, there we go. All right, so we're at 14 millimeter, right? We got a square end on the tape. Let's get that chopped and popped like that. Get the chopper out of the way. Now, the thing is, is that we're not going to need this full width of Dymo tape because that's too wide for that part, right? So we need to cut this thing down a bit. So to do that, let's see what we've got here. This is 6.3 millimeter. That's not bad, but I feel it's just a bit wide for what we're trying to accomplish, right? So let's see. I think this is 4.8, but let's make sure. Yeah, that's 4.8 right there. Let's see what this width looks like. I think that's what we want to go for, because that's just a nice width on both, you know, nice clearance on both sides. That'll give us some nice panel lines and some nice negative area to go with. So let's get the chopper back over here, and we're going to use this 4.8 millimeter strip as our measure guide. We're going to pop that stop block right up against it, which is leaning up right up against the blade. Pull that out, and now we're going to put the tape in this way, right? Now, we're not going to set it all the way against the backstop, right? But we are going to use the L square. We're going to use that as kind of a push, and we're going to chop that right down the length of it. And so now we've got a 4.8 millimeter strip right here, and then we've just kind of got leftovers. Now, if we were to measure this up, boom, you've got a nice, perfect matching width of to the strip, right? So that's a good thing. Now, keep in mind, this little leftover piece, don't throw that away. Don't throw that away. Don't do that. You can still use this. Recycle. Recycle. It's good for the planet. And it's good for your wallet too, because you don't have to go spending money and wasting Dymo tape on some little piece, right? So, actually, you know what? Let's get a curve into this first, because this is kind of straight and this is a very curved surface right here. So what we do, just got my little bamboo skewer deal here, and just like with ribbon, like you're tying a bow on like a birthday present, right? Like your mom used to do back in the day. We're just gonna roll it around here, and now that's gonna take that curve just like that. Yeah? So this is gonna be perfect to go around that curve right there, right? Flex it out a little bit and pull the backing off. Just like that. Okay. So now we want to align this dead center on this little partition here, right? We're going to stop the tape right there, and that lines up pretty damned good. Get this alignment locked in here. Just gotta finesse this tape a little bit, but that looks pretty good. Now, an easy way to see if these are aligned here is just to use just a little piece of plastic strip. This is 1 millimeter, right? That's the gap is just a little over 1 millimeter. That's right at about 1 millimeter. So I know that this tape needs to go this way, right? So we're going to just slightly finesse this over. Kind of press this into the groove a little bit here. Crush that into the groove. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Crush groove, right? Alright, so now, this to me looks a little skewed like this. Now, obviously, this is an exaggeration, right? But we want it just dead-ass straight, but it looks to be off this way just a bit. So, what we want to do now is check the alignment down here. Okay. So we need to finesse this down near the bottom a little bit. Okay, so now what we need to do is I'm going to check the width between the tape and this corner here, and then likewise on the other side, right? So that's 4 millimeters there. That's about, oh, that's dead ass center, yeah. So that's pretty good. Let's go with that. We'll lock that in, right? Donnie Baxter, he's over there on Facebook. Man, if you guys, seriously, y'all need to go follow Donnie, because his story with the Nemo, it's looking really good, you guys. Looking really good, really clean. But he says, Tim, I love the embossing tape, and it's a lot cheaper than the branded scribing tape. Great recommendation. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, you know, it's the scribing tape probably is better. I just got a whole lot of this right now I got to use, so what are you going to do? Yeah. All right. So let's, here's the 0.15 for those of you playing at home. Now, the thing is I don't want to bring it all the way down to, I don't want to bring it down all the way to the white part, right? I want to have a spot where this line just diverges off to the sides here. So I think I'm going to use this little piece of strip. Is this even though? That's the main thing. This strip needs to be a consistent width all the way down, right? So before we lay this down and hope and pray that it is the consistent width, let's check. So right there up at the top, it's 2 millimeter, right? Now I have a feeling this is going to be much wider down here at the bottom. Yeah, a little bit wider. A little bit wider. So this, unfortunately for me, unusable. We can't use that. We're not going to do that. So, what we can do is, let's measure this. We're looking at about, what? 30, about 30 millimeter wide, right there. So let's cut another piece of Dymo, 30 mil in length, yeah? L square, here we go. We're gonna go right about there. This measurement doesn't have to be exact right now, okay? So keep that in mind. So, get that locked in right there. Pop that. Now we've got a nice 30 millimeter long piece of Dymo tape right now. So now we've got to cut this thing into strips, right? So what I want to do is use a 2 millimeter strip to cut this down with. Now, let me find a good 2 millimeter. Bingo. Here we go. Now, this is a little nasty on one end, so we're going to clip that off of there. You know, and we just need just a little strip, just something that big, just a little thing. That's all we need. That's all we need, right? So, pop that right up against the blade. Pop the stop block up against that strip. Remove the strip. And now, like we did before, use your L square, and we need to get this right up against the stop block. And pop that down. Thankfully, the blade is a little bit longer than 30 millimeter, so now we've got a nice consistent width strip here that is going to be 2 millimeters. Okay, so let's double check it just to make sure, right? Just to make sure. We've got our little strip there, and we've got right there, and we've got our little strip here, right? So let's doesn't want to sit on top of that because it's too archy. It's kind of arcing up, right? So we'll lay this right on top of there, and there you can see, perfect. 2 millimeters wide. That's all it takes. Easy setups, right? Easy setups. All right, so we're gonna put that off to the side. Now we're gonna pull the backpack back in, and we're going to peel the tape off this guy here. Let's get the schmutz off there. Just like that. All right, so now get our eyes put down here, and now we're going to set this in place ever so carefully right above the existing Dymo tape piece there. And this one you want to be a bit obsessive with, yeah? You want the placement to be just right. You want to be just right, yeah? All right. We're gonna get this thing burnished down with this little pointer here, a little chopstick bamboo skewer deal, and get that really pushed down and just locked into place. So now what that's going to do is it's going to give us a consistent line all the way across there that we can scribe down to and then out. That'll help us diverge the panel lines out, right? So let's make sure we've got a consistent line here. Let's measure, yeah? We're looking at 275 roughly, and from there we're looking at about 275. Yeah, so that looks good. That looks good. I am happy with that. Okay, so now we scribe. Scribing always takes less time than the actual setup work. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. So with this, there's nothing different than your normal scribing practices. You just want to follow the tape, let your chisel do the work. Light passes the first couple times out. Get that crush groove going there. And then, sure enough, you're going to have some clean panel lines. Oh, the 80s hip-hop movie references are abound, you guys. Can't help it. I can't help it. It's just fun. Alright, so we're going to take this line all the way out, because what's going to happen is these guys will fit onto here, and then that panel line is just going to run off the side and you're never going to see it, right? this basically will hide the end of that panel line. So it's not a big deal if it doesn't go anywhere, so to speak. Nice. All right, turn this around. Let's go do the other one here. Okay, good. And we're going to shore up the verticals here. Last but not least. Now, we don't want to remove the tape just yet, because we're going to do some more to this. Now, when you do notches, when you do vertical notches, notches going perpendicular or into a T type of shape off of a panel line, you can take the tape off. It's not a big deal, right? But when you do horizontal notches or lateral notches, it's definitely important to keep the tape on, because you want the same guide there for, you know, your horizontal notches and everything, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our good old friend 0.50, right? And we're going to do some laterals, horizontals, whatever you want to call them, right? So now we've got vertical lines, we've got horizontal lines. Where do you put these, right? Where do you normally put them? Well, you can put them wherever the hell you want, right? I'm actually going to put some right here up at the top next to this box, and let's make sure that this is on camera here. I'm going to put some right up here, right in the corner of that scribe line, right up next to this box feature on this backpack here, right? That's just kind of where I'm feeling the placement right now. That's all. I'm just kind of going on gut at this point, you know? This, I think, will look really quite nice, because if you remember, what these notches simulate are locking or latching mechanisms, right? Panel locks, essentially. So these are to simulate the mechanisms that hold the actual armor or part in place on the inner frame. Now, there's some debris right there, and I don't want to scribe over that, because if you remember lessons from before, debris in your panel line can cause ramping. You've never heard that term before, then you've not watched the stream very much. What ramping is when debris gets caught up in the panel line and builds up after successive passes, and that causes essentially like a ramp. It looks like a ramp, and your chisel will ride up that ramp and right out of your line and mar the surface. You don't want that. You do not want that. And mind you, it happens to everyone. It still happens to me all the time. There's no getting around it unless you're insanely meticulous, right? And I like to think that I'm meticulous, but I'm not like that meticulous, you know? Just one of those things. Okay. that looks pretty good. Let's get this debris out of here. Get that nice and settled up. All right, so now we've got 2 notches here in the corners of this box here in this panel line, right there and right there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some lateral notches right here along this long ass panel line there. So, but before we do that, we need to make sure our measurements are correct, right? So where'd that little 2-piece here it is, little 2mm piece right here, right? We're going to use this as basically a measuring guide, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up right up against the tape, and we're going to make a mark. We're just going to press the chisel into the plastic right there on the end, and that'll make an indent into the plastic for us, right? Spin this thing around, do the same thing on the other side. This side is a little bit more tricky. But same thing, all right? So now we've got our 2 little marks right there and right there. It's 2mm on either side. So we know that these are perfectly symmetrical on both sides, right? So next what we want to do is, let's see, let's figure out how long this notch is going to be. So I think about 4mm. I think that's going to be the sweet spot, right? So get our little T-square here. Just kind of hold that in place ever so carefully. Ah, come on, you. Third time's a charm. Right there. All right, so now we've got our stop point, our start point, and our stop point for this side. Now we do the same thing to the other side, right? Hold it there ever so carefully. And come on, balance. Balance now. Ah, you son of a bitch. Right about there. Yeah. I think that's good, yeah? Right there. And it doesn't need to be a crazy big mark or anything like that. It just has, you need to know where to stop the line. That's all. That's it. Plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. Hey, look, cookies! Dwidget, what's going on, man? Let's see. Talking about blues? Oh, NHL. Text says, call a doctor if your ramping lasts longer than 4 hours. No shit, right? Notify all your previous scribing partners. Oh, shit. Y'all are getting into it. I like it. I dig it. I like it. I like it. I'm with it. Don't make me quote hip-hop movies again. God damn it. Pretty good. And you want to make sure that these get down to the same level as your panel line, just for consistent look. Just so, and you're never, obviously you're never going to see it once the model is finished, but what it's going to do is it's going to help the panel lining fluid flow a little bit better into these notches. If these notches are higher than your normal panel line, the panel lining fluid will not flow into it. You know, it'll basically be like, you know, high to low, water liquid goes into the low points, right? But if they're the same height, it flows like normal, right? Flow like water, my friend. Flow like water. Bruce Lee. Bruce Leroy. Show enough. See, I told you guys not to do it. But here I am. Thought it was out. Pull me back in. Now, with any notch, getting the two ends, that's always going to be the most challenging part. To get the two ends nice and squared, but once you do, then it's a great look. Then it's a great look. All right, so I think we're about done with this particular line. Am I even on camera? Yeah, I am. All right, cool. Excuse me. All right, so get the flakes and debris out of there. All right, moment of truth. Moment of truth. Let's peel this thing off. It's like masking. Never quite know what it's going to look like exactly until you pull the masks off, right? Right. So, let's wow, you guys are really taking it far with this scribing thing, aren't you? Bailey says, well, the notifying partners only applies if you're high Q positive. Pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Bailey's got the puns, man. For real, for real. All right, let's go super zoom, shall we? And let's take a look at this thing. Boom. All right. So, let's see. All right, so that's what it looks like up here. Now, it looks like some crud is still left in that one notch there. Not too bad, though. Not too shabby. Excuse me. Yeah, those look good. Right across there. So basically what you're looking at is that this whole panel right here is held into place with this latch, and it pops up somehow. And then same thing with this one. This one pops up, you know, this one here pops up this way. These would obviously come off, and this would, or lift off or something like that. These stay in place essentially. So yeah, these make perfect sense. These make perfect sense in terms of logic, right? Because that's the important thing. You want these panel lines to end at a logical point, a logical place. Yeah. Twitch says, "Oh hey Tim, your master grade Justa Cannon has arrived at the warehouse in Japan." Shit, I totally forgot about that, dude. Oh my god. I completely forgot that I reserved that. That's crazy. How long ago was that? That had to be last year, right? Jesus. That's so crazy. All right. So, but let's get out of super zoom so you can kind of see the full picture, yeah? Let's go back to 1. Come on, go back to 1x. There we go. And then boom. Boom, boom, and then boom. About 3 months ago. Really? I thought it was longer than that. Weird. I totally forgot about it. So hit me up off stream and we'll get you sorted out. So cool deal. But yeah, so there's what it looks like now. Obviously, there still needs to be cleanup to do. We need to sand this whole thing down and get it nice and smooth. Get all the nasty, ridges and stuff like that on the panel lines. We need to get that all sorted out. But that looks good. I like that. This is simple. This is clean. We don't have to worry about a lot of foo-foo shit at this point, right? Because I don't want a lot going on back here because there's already this detail right here, right? And that I kind of want to be the focal point back here, even though you're never going to hardly ever see it back here, right? Because it's going to be behind the Zaku head, and then you're going to have the shields here, and then you're going to have the binders here. So unless you're looking like directly down in this certain angle, that perfect angle, you're probably never going to see any of this stuff. But just in case, we want something there to signify that we put some thought and effort into this, right? So yeah, that looks good. I like that a lot. So now this flat area right here bothers me. Just this empty void, right? It bothers me. Everything else is fine. I don't care about this flat area right up here or here. Over here, that's fine. No big deal. I'm good with that. You need negative space. You need space to let your eye have a rest. Or else it's just going to look like a cluttered mess, right? You look at somebody, one of my favorite builders, Yoshify on Japanese Twitter, makes insanely detailed models. And I love his style. Don't get me wrong. I love his style and I love his work. But there's so much detail that your eye doesn't have a point to rest, because it's always searching and looking. Oh, look at this detail. Oh, look at that detail. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And so it just kind of, the whole thing kind of gets lost in the sauce, so to speak, because you're focusing more on details rather than the whole subject, right? So if you, in my opinion, if you have a proper balance, and this honestly just goes back to graphic design, if you have a proper balance of positive and negative shapes and weight in your piece of art or in your shape, then your eye has a chance to rest and recuperate and basically, come back, focus on the whole. But then, there's very, very little effort about, getting in on the details, but then coming back out on the big subject, right? That's the balance. That's the very, very fine balance that we walk, right? And it's so hard. It's so hard to get that perfect balance. So that's what we strive for, right? Lil Andrew, it has been a long time since I have been on. The hell is going on? Are you drunk? Are you back? Are you drunk? I think he's drunk. He's probably drunk. It wouldn't surprise me if he's drunk. He just came back from a cruise. I think he's back. Or are you still on a boat? Nah. What was that? I've been drunk all last week. That's not surprising, right? Andrew and his dead ass Andrew. That you know what? I think that's what we should call him from now on. Is dead ass Andrew, not Lil A, not drunk Andrew, just dead ass Andrew. What do y'all think about that? Just dead ass Andrew. DAA, dead ass Andrew. Not today. I started work today. Oh, he's a big boy now. He started work. Look at that, you guys. Aww. Aww. You guys, he started work. All right, so Mecha Army, everybody in the chat, just let's give a nice aww to Andrew. Let's come on. He needs our support. He's a big boy now. He started work, you guys. Isn't that cute? Is this your first job, Andrew? Your first bit of responsibility? I love it. I love it. Baby's first big boy job, right? Oh, poor Andrew. Sorvan's over there on Twitch. He says, "Oh, he grew up a little." I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh my. You know what? Hey, we give Andrew a ton of shit, and I know that, but we love him. He's a good kid. Deep down, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. But he still is a little fucker sometimes, I swear. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, deadass. Deadass Andrew. Oh, man. Deadass Andrew. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? I don't know what to put back there. We've got a cross plate here. We've got a molded in vent here. We've got a little vent there. You know what? I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to make our own. Yes. I think we're going to make our own. I think so. I think so. Let's do a little bit of measuring. Let's get. Ooh, that 6.3 is not bad. That gives some nice. It gives some nice thin negative space around it. Check that out. Look at that. That's just enough. There's maybe half a mil on all sides. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Let's measure it vertically. Let's see what we need here in terms of area. We're looking at what, 8 millimeter. All right, so let's cut this thing. Let's get this down to 8 millimeter, and then I'm going to show you what else I think we're going to do here. Actually, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to do that. We're going to do 7 millimeters. Go with it. Just trust me on this. Go with it. 7 millimeters. 7 millimeters is what we're shooting for. So a 7 by 6.3. So let's see. 7 right there. Rock and roll. Let's get stop block into place. Get that locked in. Now, this is 6.3 by half millimeter thick, right? Just thick enough. Yeah? Doesn't have to be a big boy, just thick enough, yeah? So, we're going to set that off to the side. Let's get our little 45 deal right in like that. We're going to get our half millimeter up on this side, get that locked in so we got a nice beveling setup here. Pull that strip out of there, and we're going to bevel all 4 sides of this thing, right? We're going to pop that right up against there, chop that, flip it around, do the same thing, chop that. So now we've got this nice little start there, yeah? And then we're going to do the same thing on the other sides, yeah? We're just going to have a nice little octagon here. Boom. Just like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, let's go. Let's go with this. Trust me. Trust me. Just go with it. Yeah? Just go with it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pop this. We're just going to dry fit this for right now on to here, right? A little bit of space right down there at the bottom. Let's get the camera focused. Just like that. That's, yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that look. Okay, so we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that. Now, this is where it gets gonna get interesting, right? This is where it's gonna get interesting. So, let's see. What's this gonna be? This is gonna be 4 mil right there. That's perfect. Absolutely freaking perfect. As Gary says, noise, right? That's what we want. So, we've got our little octagon set off to the side. Let's pull the chopper back in here. We've got a nice, excuse me, 0.5 millimeter by 4 millimeter strip right here. But actually, now that I think about it, let's see something here. How would... No, that's too much. Too much. I was looking at the 1 millimeter, but nah, too much. So we're going to bevel two sides of this thing, right? Let's get the little cut off corner out of there. Just like that, right? Pretty good, yeah? Okay, so we'll get that there. And now what we're going to do, since we used the 0.5 millimeter strip as our measuring guide to set up the chopper, what that does is it makes a full 1 millimeter bevel or chamfer or whatever you want to call it. It cuts the corners at 1 millimeter, right? So now this measurement from top corner to top corner is now about 4 millimeters, right? So if you look at it, this is a 4 millimeter strip. That right there is almost dead on, right? Now, since this is 6.3, there's probably about a 0.1 millimeter gap on either side, but to the naked eye, you'll never see it. Now, if you super zoom in, obviously you're going to see it, right? But what we're going to do, we're not going to use that square ass end. We're going to use this beveled end right here. We're going to do a thing kind of like that, right? Now, stay with me, because we're going to keep going with this, right? So, we're going to cut this off right about there. And this end doesn't matter right now, yeah? Doesn't matter right this second. So, what we've got to do, let's get our eyes back on, because we're going to need these here. Alignment is going to be crucial at this point, yeah? Okay. Yeah, let's get the schmutz off this thing here real quick. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so now grab this with our tweezers, yeah? And I think we're going to use super glue on this bad boy. BSI. There you go. BSI, Bob Smith Industries. My super glue, current super glue of choice. Sorry, Loctite. Just, I don't know, man. It's really, really good. Really good. And I gotta be honest, like I said before, that accelerator is pretty good stuff. Bailey, good call. All right, so we'll get a little super glue on this guy, just on one side. We don't want to coat the whole thing with super glue at this point because we don't need it. We're just gonna, this thing's gonna hang off of one edge. One end. And right about there. Square. Nice. All right. So there's what we're going with for right now. Okay. Just hang in there with me. This is going someplace. I promise you. I promise you. This is going in a nice direction. Okay. Going in a nice direction. So now we get our chopper back into place. Unlock all the stop blocks. Get those out of the way. Now, we need to square up this end. Pop it right there. We just need just a little bit of plastic here. Just not much at all, yeah? So we're going to put the chopper back off to the side, yeah? And so now we're going to flip this bad boy over. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue the rest of this overhang okay. And so now we're going to take this little guy here and ever so carefully you're going to position him right underneath of that existing strip. Whew, crispy. Crispy now. All right. So now, what we've got here effectively is a 1 millimeter strip here, which is 2 stacked 1/2 millimeter strips here, and then an overhang onto this one, right? So now what we can do, scribe all this stuff around, and this is going to look like a separate piece that's embedded into that, right? So now we can pop this guy onto here, and then once that's all glued into place, clip that overhang off, wrap a little strap onto just this top little plane right here. I think it'll look really nice. Yeah. All right. Before we do that, let's get this bottom surface nice and flush with each other. So we're just gonna throw that here on the sanding block. We just got a nice 400 grit. Dry right on there. That takes it right down to nothing. That's just super dead ass Andrew flat now, so that's looking good. So what we can do, we've got a nice kind of handle up here at the top that we don't have to worry about glue getting onto or anything like that, right? So before we do this, let's get the glasses back on here. And we've got some residue from the Dymo tape that we should probably get off of there before we lay this down, because that could potentially inhibit the super glue. So I don't know if it will or not. I know I don't want to take any chances, right? So we're just gonna sand the surface of this bad boy here. Just like that. Just clean it up. Real simple. Yeah? Just clean it up. Let's see. Andrew says, nah, it doesn't have the same ring as little A. No, I like dead ass Andrew. I do. I like dead ass Andrew. I think it's beautiful. I think it's poetry, honestly. I think I should win the Pulitzer based off of that name alone. Dead ass Andrew. Anyway, Al Cruz is over there on YouTube. Hey Tim, checking in. Just got back from our local build night. Very cool at Huzzah Hobbies over there in VA. Man, wish it was closer. I'd come out to that. Even on a Monday. Hell yeah, even on a Monday. But, man, talking like an hour and a half away. Andrew says, Tim's just salty. I called him and only called him the alright GBWC champion. Andrew, at least I'm a champion. Little dead ass. Oh, I don't like to pull that card. That champion card. I do not like to pull that. But for Andrew, I'll make an exception. Dead ass Andrew. There we go. All right. So we've got glue on this side. Let's get this thing properly placed here, shall we? Very careful with placement because you basically get one shot at this. Nice. Nice. Okay. I think we're in a good spot here. All right. So there. That's kind of what we're going for, right? It's kind of what we're going for. This it gives a nice multi-level look to it. It's not like a Kotobukiya part. It's not a vent. It's not a cross plate or anything like that. So yeah, it's just a differing shape, right? That's all we need. That's all you need on this thing. That's all you need. Text says, dead ass Andrew, young ass. Wow. Text just took it to like level 10. I was at like a level 2. Nice. Uh-oh. Brandon 5269, Tim, my wife wanted me to tell you she is mad at you. Sorry, Mrs. Brandon 5269, my bad. I apologize. She can call me if she wants. I'll apologize. Not a big deal. It happens. Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time. Probably won't be the last either. Oh my. But hey, that's cool. No, trust me, dude. I totally get it. I totally get it. Mine has been the same way. Many, many times. Alright, so now this glue has pretty much had a perfect amount of time to set up here, right? So what we do is we very carefully clip the excess on an angle. We don't want to take too much plastic off here. We just want to take enough, because what we need to do is we need to trim this down and get this flush with this surface here, right? So that's the name of the game. Brandon says, I have spent a bunch of money because of you, according to her. Yeah, right? It happens. It happens, Mrs. 5269. I apologize profusely. It is my fault. Twitch says, any of y'all played with acrylic paint? Correction, acrylic ink. No, I have not. Like India ink or something like that? Therno? What are you talking about? What kind of acrylic ink are we talking about? Bailey says, I know builders that swear by the dollar and Rowney inks. I don't know. Something like that. Excuse me. Kirk says, yeah, says to Brandon, you have to hide the purchases and bring them inside when she's asleep. That's actually a very good tactic. Because I mean, you know she doesn't go in your hobby room, right? Just saying. It's a good tactic. Bring the models in at night. And, you know, look at it this way. You could always say, dear, I'm so sorry. At least I'm not out the bar drinking with the boys. Or, you know, out on the weekends watching football at the bar or something like that. Or at a strip club, heaven forbid, right? I'm in the house with you. See, that's how you do it. That's called years of experience, folks. That's called years of experience. All right, so now what we got to do is we got to trim this back a little bit, right? So we're gonna just kind of take off the high points first. We don't want to go and try to trim this down, you know, with the first pass of your hobby knife, because that will just end up very, very badly. What you want to do is work this down to the surface. And I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to use our hobby knife to really get this down to even, because this is an awkward position for the knife to be in, because you've got different shapes and stuff like that here on both sides, right? So I think what we're going to have to do is call out the chisel blade here in a few seconds, but let's try to get this down to as low as possible here. Let's just see what we can do. Okay. Yep. Alright. So let's get the chisel blade out here. Now, what I'm going to do... this is a different type of chisel blade. Right here. This is actually by X-Acto. This is an X-Acto brand chisel blade. This is blade number 17. You can see it right there. And obviously this has a very, very different profile than the Olfa chisel blade, right? The Olfa chisel blade is obviously much wider. It's much shorter. This gives you a lot more control, but the cool thing about this particular blade is that you've got this kind of nice long shank on the blade here, which you can kind of get it into weird angles and positions. So something like this blade might actually be perfect for this particular scenario. So let's see. That is not sharp whatsoever, so we're not even gonna mess with that. Let's go back to our boy Alpha here. This one's not sharp either. Let's do ourselves a solid. Let's swap this blade out before we have a nasty accident, yeah? There we go. Come on now. Pull that out. I just kind of put these off to the side. I save the used blades just kind of off. And then what I'll do is I'll get a little container, empty bottle, something like that, and put all my used blades in there at once. Now, there's an oil on these blades to keep them from rusting. I like to wipe that off just because it's just another contaminant that can get on the surface of your model, right? But you got to be very careful because these things are just freaking sharp as hell. So, get that off of there, pop that in the blade. Nice and secure. Tighten that up. Put the other blades away. Now let's go to town. Now we've got a nice, super crispy, sharp blade here. Let's... Oh yeah, see that just floating through it like butter. There we go. Now that, nice and smooth up top. All right, so now what we got to do, excuse me, is same 4mm width of plastic strip here, right? So let's get our chopper over here. Let's make sure that this end perfectly square, and we're just going to chop off another little hunk of plastic here. Doesn't need to be any specific length, just needs to be longer than what we need it to be, right? So we can place this accurately. So put the chopper off to the side, grab this with our tweezers here, yeah? And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna place some, and I'm gonna keep this square. I'm not gonna bevel it or anything like that. I'm gonna keep this square, yeah? a little super glue. Just a little drop will do you. We don't want anything crazy. Alright, so moment of truth. This is basically a strapping technique right here. So we need to get this again. We need to be very, very precise. Because we get one shot. And that looks like money in the bank. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Good stuff right there. JD's over there on YouTube. He says, Tim, can you use that chisel sharpener you ordered to sharpen those blades? Oh, you mean the Olfa blades? I don't think so. Because the sharpener that I ordered, which will be here tomorrow, actually, it's more for chisels. Because if you look at the profile of the chisel, right, and you have to look at the angle, and I know that's not focusing at all right now. There we go. And you have to look at the angle of the chisel, the tip there, right? So this would, let's see. It would hold it at this kind of angle, right? And go like that, right? And sharpen this underside of the blade of the chisel's cutting edge. So that's the angle that is perfect, right? To sharpen these, they'd have to be more like that, and probably a little bit less. So I doubt very seriously that I could use that particular tool to sharpen X-Acto chisel blades like that. I just don't think that's what they're made for. But, you know, the chisel blades are so inexpensive, you know, and they last so long, especially the Olfa ones. It's like, Brandon 5269 says, a good ultra-fine stone and a few swipes will have it sharp as new. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I don't have a sharpening stone, so yeah. But it is what it is. Julie Stemsky says, speaking of accidents, did you see the finger protectors that the USA Gundam Store mentioned and asked for opinions about? They look like finger socks. Oh, yeah. The cut protector thingies. I have seen those. They're kind of like, if you ever seen like a butcher, they've got, you know, kind of those metallized, you know, Kevlar kind of gloves so they don't slice their hand, you know, when they're cutting meat and stuff like that. They're essentially the same type of thought process. So, yeah. No, Zaku Boy James says, just a tip. Damn right. I'm not even going to say what I was thinking. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. No, James. No. Brandon says, my other hobby is knives, so I have a few good stones. Hey, if you got them, use them, man, right? Because that'll, yeah, I mean, if you've got the tools to do that, shit, yeah, do it. Do it. Let's see. Dwidget says, yeah, I saw those on the Chinese market. Oh, yeah, the sharpener, yeah. James says, you bought one of those? Super keen to know if they're good. Yeah, me too. I mean, they were, I think it was like $6 or $9, something like that. So I gotta get a diamond grinding plate to go along with it, because that's, you know, what I'll need to sharpen the chisels with. So I can just get that off Amazon or something like that for cheap. They're next to nothing. But yeah. JD says, bummer, I was hoping it could do both, so a whetstone wouldn't be needed. Yeah, whetstone for blades is gonna be your better bet. Let's put it that way. Dwayne says, I was thinking they might be a good idea to have, but then again, we have thimbles. Yeah, I mean, if you're prone to cutting yourself, like Al Cruz says Gumple Princess is, shout out to Amy, you know, it's probably a good investment, right? You know, for me, that, I mean, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I've thankfully never, you know, cut myself deeply. I think I'm overly cautious of the blades, right? Because I just don't want to cut myself. Plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. So I mean, but yeah, if you cut yourself, if you happen to have, you know, still working on your knife work, might be a good thing, right? Wrap it up, protect it. You know, you don't want accidents to happen. Chisel discipline, as they say, right? Yeah. Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah. Dwayne Therno over there says to Al, or we could just get Princess a full box of the metal lined gloves that deli workers used. I mean, hey, you know, I don't know. It might be a good thought. Who knows? No Zaku boy says famous last words. Yeah, right. Now I'm gonna end up cutting myself. Knock on particle board here. Best thing I got, right? Bailey says no glove, no gun plove. Oh shit, we can always trust Bailey has the pun at hand, right? But hey, it's actually a good thing. I like it. Al Cruz says, or a whole chainmail suit. That's messed up, dude. Oh, poor Amy, man. Poor princess. She's got a hard time of it. But that's okay. I mean, she'll learn. We all learn, right? That's the name of it. Alright. So we've got this clipped down just enough. Let's get the high points off of this thing, and then this whole shape is going to come into view, and you guys will see kind of what I was talking about here. Here we can just simply use our little knife here. Am I on camera? Nope. Let's get moved over there. Perfect. Alright. Looking good so far. I think we're on our final passes here, just clean up passes. Just got a little bit more to do. Hasn't passed the fingernail test just yet. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Now, let's just do just a light scrape just to get that nice and flush there. And so now that is perfectly joined. Yes, sir. All right. So there's our shape, right? Let's get this into super zoom so you guys can see. I think I'm going to bevel the surface around a little bit. There it is. There we are. That looks pretty good. Not too shabby. Let's get proper focus here. There we are. So there you can kind of see the strapping over the top. Looks pretty good. Once that's painted, that'll all look like kind of one piece, right? Right there. So, yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Let's get a super zoom here. Rock and roll. All right, good stuff. Dust Drive's over there on Twitch. He says, hello again. What's going on, Dust Drive? Good to have you back. Welcome. Let's see. Brandon5269 says, I sliced my thumb almost in half about 4 years ago with an X-Acto knife. Now I'm super cautious when using them. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. He says, never want to get stitches through my fingernail again. Okay. I didn't need to read that because now my fingernails are like twitching, right? I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling. Blech. God. Why did... Hello. Shit. Ha. Alrighty then. Anyway. Bailey says, the bad puns, sure. Yeah, well, we all need those too, right? Good stuff. Alright, so back to this. So this looks pretty good here. I like the way that this is shaping up. So now, let's see what this looks like here. Excellent. Just enough negative space here on the side that we can actually outline scribe this thing. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and start doing that here to bring this thing to full on kind of finished look here. Oh, I'm blocking the thing, aren't I? Here we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Let's see. Okay, so what we're doing here, outline scribing this particular piece to give kind of a faux shadow to this thing, because once you get the scribe line outlined around this piece, that's going to create kind of a false shadow. And then once you go to panel line this thing, the panel lining fluid is going to get into this and really kind of bring out the effect, and it's going to make this thing look separate from the piece, not just like a glued on piece of plastic, right? It's actually going to look completely separated. That essentially finishes the look that we're going for on this thing. Because like I said, I didn't want to just tack on a vent. That's too easy. That's too easy. And you can overdo that aesthetic very quickly, right? You just tack on Kotobukiya shit and then it just looks like a mess. Yeah? Like a cluster of parts, if you will. Yeah? So by doing something like this, it brings that illusion of scale back into focus, and that's again one of the guiding principles that we're going for when doing something like this, is that illusion of scale, right? So not only are you trying to achieve, positive negative balance, You're also trying to get that illusion of scale. And man, it's a hard balance, to get all that stuff, all those principles. It's damn near next to impossible. I mean, it's, you can see it on display. The people that are able to pull that off, or that have been able to pull that off, usually have a nice big old gold trophy in their case, that says, world champion, not like North American or, country champion or whatever, right? World champions have that, or a Zaku champions are able to pull that off. Those guys are just, they can do it. Me, I still have a very, very tough time achieving that perfect balance of things. I still don't think I've done it yet, to be honest with you. I think I'm still chasing that perfect Zen build, And honestly, I'll be straight, I don't know if I'll ever achieve it. I don't know if I have it in me. I don't know if a lot of us have it in us. And this is real. This is real, But in that same vein, it never means you stop moving forward. All right. I always say, think of this hobby. Think of yourself in this hobby, I should say, as like a shark. A shark is always swimming. If a shark ever stops swimming, they die. Same with pretty much any fish, right? But a shark, in that same vein, is always moving. It's always progressing. It's always looking for its next meal, right? And that's essentially what we should be doing. We should always be moving forward, always trying to learn, and always looking for that next kind of challenge, right? That new skill set, that new technique, whether it be scribing or painting, for that matter, or hell, resin casting, right? I know a lot of people started wanting to do resin casting after we talked about it last week, right? Had a few people message me about, hey, what kind of products, do you use when resin casting, And that's the thing. Always be looking out for that next big challenge in this hobby. That's kind of my philosophy on things. This is almost done with the outline scribe here. And then you'll be able to see kind of a minimal effect of this kind of false shadow. Kind of what it looks like, right? Alright, so right there. Now obviously it looks just looking at it on the screen, it looks like it's a little bit I guess more clear, right? For lack of a better term, yeah. Brandon 5269, how would the BMC .075 do for outline scribing? You know, probably not that well, and I'll be honest with you. Mainly because I want to go for a consistent thickness of panel line. So you have to think about it. The part separation on these, on these two panels here is that 0.15, that panel line there. Same thing with this. This is just it's just an outline of the shape, but you have to think about it as this is a raised panel as compared to a panel that has a lower height to it, right? If these were the same exact height, we'd use that same exact width of chisel, right? So I like to keep the widths of panel line, whether it be outline or whether it be normal line, exactly the same, because what they're representing is the same. So just think of it that way. All right, so let's get super zoomed in here so you guys can kind of see a little bit better what the outline looks like here. Let's get that right there, and boom. Okay, so obviously, we still have a little bit of cleanup to do. There's a little debris right in here that we can kind of get out of there. A little schmutz, get out of there, you guy. Get out of there. But you can kind of see all the way around now that kind of faux shadow, right? That false shadow. It just looks deeper, right? And you can kind of see there, that right there, that looks like that there's two parts, yeah? Once this is primed and then painted, obviously, you will, that effect will become much, much more prominent, right? Now, the thing is that I don't want to outline scribe this guy right here over this panel, because I want this panel and this panel here to all look the same, right? I want that to all look the same. Mickle Pickle. He says, it looks to me like an escape hatch. I mean, if it was on the cockpit, probably, right? But this is on the backpack, so probably not. But, you could probably see that, this is a vent here on the other side. You could probably imagine that there's some sort of mechanics that they have to get into behind that vent. So that kind of makes sense that, there's an access panel there, right? You have to think about what's underneath, Think about what's underneath. And that's what's going to guide you in terms of panel lines and stuff like that, right? So, there you go. Kirk Hill says, later off to get lunch. Enjoy the rest of your night, Tim. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, Kirk. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. All right, so last step in this, and then we're going to end it for the night, is to bevel up the edges of this thing, because I don't want sharp angles on a raised panel like this. It just doesn't look very appealing, in my opinion. So with that being said, we'll go back to 1, and we'll get that box away there, and then we'll go and get that done, right? So for this, I could use the ceramic scraper, the that Luis sent us. But the one problem with the ceramic scraper is that the tip here has a rounded edge, and we're getting in very, very tight quarters. So this round edge may become an issue for us once we get into beveling this thing. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use the amazing ceramic scraper. But what we're going to use is just our little hobby knife here, and we'll get this thing, you know, beveled up here. So now, let me kind of get in here kind of low so I can see what the hell I am doing here. And we just want to take very, very nice light passes at this thing. We don't want a crazy bevel, but we want something enough to make the edges soft. Well, softer. You want to try to keep the angles consistent, and you want to try and keep the height of the bevels similar. Because if one bevel on one side is really light, and then the corresponding side is very heavy, it's just not going to look weird. It's just going to look weird. It's not going to look normal, I should say. Okay. Now, one thing that I've found with this particular process is you don't want to hold your knife straight. You want to hold it at a bit of an angle. Just let it scrape along that edge. You'll get a nice smooth bevel all the way across the corner of the piece. Last edge right here. All right. So, take a toothbrush to this thing. Just get all the dust, debris, all that out of there, and this will help actually sand down a little bit and take off the nasty hard edges and stuff like that too. So boom, there's that, right? Let's get super zoomed in one last time. Hey, good night, deadass Andrew. Love giving that kid a hard time. Alright, let's get that focused properly. Right about there, that looks good. Hopefully the camera will stop shaking here in a minute. Alright, so now we can twist this thing around, and you can kind of see the nice beveled action. There, you can see it in the profile on this top strip up here, how that's nice and beveled there, yeah? You can kind of see it around the other edges. It's a little hard right now, especially with it out of focus like that. There we go. Spin this around. Let's see if we can catch the angle there. There you go. Now you can kind of see that that plate there. You can kind of see the little bevels along the sides there. Looks good, yeah? So, there it is. It's a good look. It's a good look. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this line right here, where the glue is, that's gonna disappear once we get primer on it, right? It's gonna completely disappear. McDio Manny says almost looks gummy. Gummy? What do you mean gummy? Gummy like what? Looks sharp as shit, dude. What? Cut yourself on this. It's so sharp. Ha ha. Nah. All right, let's get out of there. Get out of there. Come on. Get out of the box. Cool. Rock and roll. Nice. Brandon has an Amazon link. Let's check the Amazon link. What did Brandon put in the Amazon link here? Let's see. What is this? This is a 3 6-inch diamond whetstone models in hardwood box for $73. Yeah. I mean, if you're into knives, like Brandon is, it's probably not a bad investment. It's probably pretty cheap too, right? But for somebody who's not, like me, it's a bit on the steep side. Yeah, a bit on the steep side. Anyway, McDive says, it looks soft. I mean, not too sharp. You know, what it might be is just that it might just be super zoom. Because super zoom exaggerates everything, right? But no, this is exactly where I need it to be, right? Because, you know, you have to consider that most of the other corners and things are soft. Just like an aircraft or something like that, right? All of those corners are intentionally soft because you don't want somebody coming along and then they're dead. That would be bad. So, nah, not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. Ultraman Donnie says, all right, everyone, have a good night. Tim, great job as always. See you on Wednesday. Thank you, buddy. See you later, Luis. Take care, man. And I'm going to get wrapped up here as well. So let's go camera 1 for this, right? All right, so, you guys. Boom. Yeah. There we go. Haha. So, guys, if you want one of these sweet-ass Mecha Army hats, if you want one of these awesome airdrop shirts, check tomorrow. I will be posting these tomorrow on the Child Mecha Store. I'll post about it and everything. I'll let you guys know that they're up as well. But keep checking there. Represent Mecha Army. All right. So, but yeah, you can find everything else on the Child Mecha Store. Hit up www.childofmecha.com. Store up at the top. And you'll find shirts, hats, and bags. Like I said, these will be on there tomorrow, right? Also, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show, and I was remiss in doing this. Ordered some prototype stickers that my production company just started carrying. I ordered 10 different stickers, you guys. And they're printed on vinyl. They're die cut. And they're pretty damn good price, too. So I think if the quality is good, we'll make those available, and yeah, I think we'll be in good shape with those. Hopefully. So I want to get the prototypes in, and I want to inspect them first, see what they're like, and if they're good quality, those will be coming as well. And for those of you that have obviously received stickers, you kind of know that a lot of people will get kind of the small ones, just because they're expensive, right? These are gonna be sizable. 5-inch stickers on the long edge of the sticker. So yeah, these are gonna be pretty sizable stickers, you guys. So these will be worth it. These will be worth it. So indoor, outdoor, stick them on your car if you wanted to. From what I understand, they should not bleed. They should not wear out anytime soon. Yeah, should be good. But I gotta know. I gotta have them in my hand. I gotta feel them. I gotta test the quality. I gotta make sure first before that happens. So ordered some chibi stickers, obviously, to compare. Ordered Grim Reaper logo. Ordered the 67th logo. Ordered Mecha Army sticker, and then some other ones that I will not be telling you about just yet. That'll be a surprise. But yeah, Brandon's 5269. The image on your shirt would make a badass sticker. Oh yeah. I ordered one of these. That's a definite. That's an absolute definite. So yeah, hopefully those will come in soonish. Right? I just ordered them last night, so probably, well, hopefully next week sometime. But so yeah, so there's that. So stuff that you guys can look forward to, right? But anyway, if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with tonight, hit up the Amazon link just below, here on YouTube and on Twitch. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, tools, materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming, all of that sort of stuff, right? And like I said, I get a little bit of a commission based off of the stuff you buy. Goes to help out the stream, right? And then, as always, if you need models, if you need paints, if you need accessories, if you need decals, hit up our boys and girls there at USA Gundam Store. Adam and the crew will definitely hook you up. With that being said, we'll be back here on Wednesday. We got Mechanism on Friday, right, Tex? You're gonna be on, right? You're not gonna miss out on a 4th episode, are you? As we wait. So yeah, Mechanisms on Friday. We'll have a good time with that. We'll close out the week. So I will see you guys. Oh, she says yes, I can make it this week. Cool, good. That'll be fun. Oh, and she says I promise. I don't know about that one now. See, when somebody says I promise, I don't know. I have to wait and see. On that one. Brandon 5269 might be worth hitting up Galactic Toys. They sell on Amazon and could possibly add Madworks chisels to Amazon. They have in the past. They do not have them on there anymore, though. So, yeah. One of those things, right? Tex says, she said, before getting stranded in Louisiana again. Yeah, well, there you go, right? So, anyway. All right. You guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's been a night. Happy Monday. Go watch Crush Groove or Break Into Electric Boogaloo. Something classic, The Warriors. Can you dig it? And then I'm going to work on this a little bit tomorrow and make some progress. And we'll get back here and we'll do this all again Wednesday and we'll have fun. Right? All right, so until then, check out this tomorrow. We'll be back here on Wednesday. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Go build something cool. Be safe out there. Man, just have some